Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract success, wealth, and opportunities the way a magnet attracts metal, and others, no matter how hard they try, constantly face obstacles and disappointments? You know what the most fascinating secret of success is? It's not a secret formula available only to the chosen few. It's not innate talent or luck, and it's definitely not some mystical force of the universe working without your involvement. The truth is both deeper and simpler. We attract not what we want, but who we are. When I was 25, I was living paycheck to paycheck, struggling with debt, and couldn't see a way out. One day my mentor asked me, "Jim, how much do you earn per hour?" I replied, "A little over $1." He shook his head and said a phrase that changed my life. "Jim, you have to work harder on yourself than on your job." That's when I realized something fundamental. My external reality was a direct reflection of my internal value. I was attracting exactly who I was, not what I wanted. Today, I'm going to share with you the principles and strategies that will allow you not only to understand the law of attraction, but also to actively use it to create an extraordinary life. And pay special attention to the final part. We'll do a practical test to help you identify your strengths and weaknesses in the context of the law of attraction. In this video, we'll explore why your thoughts and beliefs literally shape your reality, how daily disciplines turn dreams into achievements, why your environment critically impacts your ability to attract success, and most importantly, how to become the kind of person who naturally attracts desired outcomes. You see, the law of attraction isn't magic. It's a natural law of personal development. And I'll show you how to use it, not through empty dreaming, but through intentional self-improvement. Ready to begin the journey to a better version of yourself? Then let's continue. The first and most important principle of the law of attraction: you attract not what you want, but who you are. Let me explain this more deeply. Many people focus on external goals: more money, a better house, a new car. They visualize these things, create vision boards, and wait for the universe to deliver their order, and then they wonder why nothing changes. The real law of attraction works through your personality, your values, beliefs, habits, and actions. When I was young and broke, I longed for wealth. But everything changed when I understood one secret. In order to have more, I had to become more. You see, if you work on your job, you earn money. But if you work on yourself, you create a destiny. Let me ask you a question. What have you read in the last month to develop yourself? How much time have you invested in improving your skills? What new ideas have you explored? The second principle: your beliefs shape your reality. It's like a thermostat set in your subconscious. If your internal thermostat is set to earn $50,000 a year, that's exactly what you'll make. No more, no less. If you receive an unexpected bonus of $10,000, your thermostat will do everything it can to bring you back to your set level, maybe through surprise expenses or missed opportunities. I once had a friend, a successful entrepreneur. He went bankrupt not because of the economy, not because of competition, but because of his own success thermostat. When his business started growing beyond his comfort zone, he began making self-sabotaging decisions that eventually brought him back to the level where he felt comfortable. Ask yourself, what level of success, happiness, or abundance do you deeply consider normal for yourself? Could you be sabotaging your own achievements because of a low-set thermostat? The third principle: success is not an event but a process. You can't attract success in a single day. You attract it through daily disciplines and kept promises to yourself. Success is like a fleeting butterfly. The more you chase it, the faster it flies away. But if you create a garden full of flowers, disciplines, habits, and self-improvement, the butterflies of success will come to you on their own. In my life, I realized something incredibly important. Success doesn't come from trying to change the world around you. It comes from changing yourself. When I began my journey of self-improvement, I established a simple but powerful ritual. Every day, no matter the circumstances, I read at least 30 minutes of something that developed my mind. Within a year, I had read more books than the average person reads in a decade. In 5 years, my worldview had transformed so profoundly that I began attracting opportunities I never could have imagined before. Think about it. What is one discipline you could implement in your life today that, within a year, could completely transform your reality. The fourth principle: you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This may be the most critical aspect of the law of attraction that most people overlook. If you want to attract success, surround yourself with successful people. If you want to be healthy, spend time with those who value health. If you strive for financial freedom, engage with financially free individuals. Once, I attended a business meeting where I was the least successful person in the room. It was uncomfortable, painful even, for my ego. But I kept coming back week after week. And within a year, my mindset, my standards, and my expectations of myself all changed. I rose to the level of my environment. Here's a question to reflect on. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? And who might you become if your environment consisted of those you admire the most? The fifth principle: your words create your reality. The way you speak about yourself, your circumstances, and your opportunities has a direct impact on what you're capable of attracting into your life. Words are seeds. Every word you speak plants something in the garden of your life. Are you choosing carefully what seeds you plant? When I started my path to success, I began consciously changing my language. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," I started asking, how can I afford this? Instead of, "I have a problem," I began to say, "I have a challenge looking for a solution." This is not just wordplay, it's a fundamental shift in perspective that opens new opportunities and pathways that were previously invisible. Here's my challenge to you. For the next 24 hours, listen to your words. Write down negative phrases and transform them into positive, possibility-driven ones. This isn't about fake optimism. It's about creating a linguistic pattern that trains your mind to look for solutions instead of excuses. The sixth principle of the law of attraction: your focus determines your reality. What you focus on expands in your life. You see, every day we are surrounded by thousands of events and circumstances, both positive and negative, but our mind has an amazing ability to notice what we are focused on. As the old wisdom says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. In reality, the teacher was always there, but the student just wasn't tuned in to notice. In the 1950s, when I was just starting out, I was focused on my limitations: lack of education, humble background, lack of connections. And guess what? I constantly found confirmation of those limitations. But when I shifted my focus to opportunities, to every book I could read, every person I could learn from, every hour I could use productively, my world began to transform. Ask yourself, what does your daily mental dialogue focus on? Problems or opportunities? What you lack or what you already have? What we think about the most expands into our life. This is not just a beautiful phrase. It's a powerful principle of success. The seventh principle: the law of correspondence. Your external world is an exact reflection of your internal world. This is one of the most powerful aspects of the law of attraction that most people don't understand. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you resonate with on a deep level. Let me share a personal story. 30 years ago, I was coaching a young entrepreneur who constantly complained that he kept meeting unreliable business partners every time he started a new venture with great enthusiasm, and every time his partners betrayed his trust. After the 3rd time, I asked him, "What promises have you broken in your own life?" He looked at me, surprised. When we dug into the issue, it turned out he constantly made promises to himself that he didn't keep. Starting a morning jog, reading daily, quitting smoking, he lived in an inner world of broken promises and attracted an outer environment that mirrored that exactly. To change your external circumstances, you must first change your internal ones. What kind of person are you inside? What is your inner reality? What you see around you is simply a reflection of what's happening inside of you. The 8th principle: the law of preparation. Success doesn't come to you, you walk toward it through constant preparation. Many people think the law of attraction is some mystical force that suddenly brings them everything they desire, but the real law of attraction works differently. Opportunities always come to those who are prepared. When I was young, I dreamed of becoming a successful speaker. You know what I did? I practiced speaking in front of empty chairs. I recorded my speeches on a tape recorder and critically analyzed every word. I studied great speakers for hours. And when I was unexpectedly offered to replace a speaker at an important event, I was ready. It looked like luck or the law of attraction to outsiders. But in reality, it was careful preparation that met opportunity. Success is when preparation meets opportunity. Ask yourself, what are you preparing for every day? What skills are you developing even when no one asks you to? How are you preparing for opportunities that haven't yet appeared? The ninth principle, the law of intentional action. Thoughts and desires only have power when they are backed by action. One of the biggest misconceptions about the law of attraction is believing that you can simply think about something strongly enough and it will materialize. That's naive and ineffective. The real law of attraction requires intentional action. Your thoughts and beliefs create your feelings. Your feelings motivate your actions, and your actions create your results. One day, a young man approached me after a seminar. He said, "Mr. Rohn, I've been visualizing a new house for a year, but nothing is happening." I asked him, "How many extra hours a week do you work to earn that house? What new skill are you developing to increase your market value?" He looked confused. You see, he was confusing dreams with goals. Dreams without action remain dreams. Goals with plans and action turn into reality. Don't wish things were easier, wish you were better. If you want to attract something into your life, ask yourself, what kind of person must I become to achieve this? And what specific actions must I take today to become that person? And finally, the 10th principle, the law of gratitude. What you are thankful for multiplies. Gratitude is the most powerful catalyst of the law of attraction. When you are in a state of gratitude, you emit a frequency of abundance instead of lack. You focus on what you have, not on what you're missing. For many years, I've practiced a simple ritual. Every evening before bed, I write down 5 things I'm grateful for that day. They can be major achievements or small joys. What matters is that this ritual reprograms your mind to look for the positive. You know, once during an especially difficult period in my life, when it seemed like nothing was going right, I could barely find anything to be thankful for. But I forced myself to stick to the ritual. And at first I was grateful for the simplest things. A morning cup of coffee, a roof over my head, a phone call from a friend. Gradually, by practicing gratitude, even during tough times, I noticed my perception begin to shift. And then my life began to shift as well, because what we focus on expands. Don't expect more until you become grateful for what you already have. Ask yourself, how often do you practice genuine, heartfelt gratitude? Do you notice the blessings in your life, or do you focus on what's missing? Now I want to offer you something practical that will help you assess how well you're already applying these principles in your life, and identify areas where you can grow. Time for a little self-assessment test. I invite you to take a sheet of paper and a pen. Please pause now and prepare for this important exercise. Ready? Great. Now I will ask you to rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10 in several key areas related to the law of attraction. Be honest with yourself. This isn't about impressing anyone. It's about finding real opportunities for growth. First, rate from 1 to 10 how much your daily thoughts are focused on opportunities rather than problems. 1 means constant focus on the negative. 10 means a steady focus on possibilities. Second, from 1 to 10, how positive and faith-filled are your daily words and conversations? 1 means constant complaining and negativity. 10 means consistently inspiring and uplifting speech. Third, from 1 to 10, how disciplined are you in your daily self-development habits? 1 means no discipline. 10 means unwavering adherence to key daily practices. Fourth, from 1 to 10, how would you rate the influence of the 5 people you spend the most time with? 1 means very negative influence, 10 means extremely positive and inspiring. Fifth, from 1 to 10, how often do you feel and express genuine gratitude? 1 means rarely or never, 10 means constant, deep gratitude. Now total your score. The maximum is 50 points. But it's not about the number, it's about awareness. Look at your lowest scores. These are your growth zones, your opportunities for transformation. Now, the most important part. I want you to choose one aspect, either the one where you scored the lowest or the one that resonates with you the most, and focus on improving it over the next week. Here are specific actions you can start taking immediately. If you chose to improve your thoughts, set a 3-time daily reminder to ask yourself, what am I focused on right now? Am I looking for problems or opportunities? If you chose to improve your words, ask a close person to remind you whenever you start complaining or speaking negatively. Immediately reframe the complaint into a constructive solution. If you chose to improve your disciplines, select one specific discipline, such as 30 minutes of reading daily, and do it at the same time each day, regardless of circumstances. If you chose to improve your environment, find one new group, club, or meetup where you can meet people who already have what you're striving for. If you chose to improve your gratitude, every evening before bed, write down 5 specific things you're grateful for that day, and feel that gratitude. Remember, one discipline practiced daily has more power than a dozen plans without action. Start small, but be consistent. Summing up our discussion today on the law of attraction, I want you to remember the most important truth. You attract not what you want, but who you are. Your thoughts shape your beliefs shape your actions shape your habits shape your character, and your character determines your destiny. The law of attraction is not a magical formula, it's a natural law of personal growth. As you grow as a person, the quality of your life grows with you. Don't wish for fewer problems, wish for more wisdom. Don't wish for fewer challenges, wish for more skills. Don't wish for an easier life, wish to become a stronger person. Here's my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, practice that one discipline you chose every single day. Don't miss a day. Be consistent and intentional. And after a week, come back and share your results in the comments below this video. I want to hear your story. I want to know how your reality is changing as you change yourself. In the next video, we'll talk about the power of goal setting, how to turn dreams into tangible results. Don't miss it, because we'll dive into practical strategies to help you move from desire to action, and from action to results. Remember, life doesn't respond to your wishes, it responds to your actions. Who you become matters more than what you get. Become the person who naturally attracts success, and you won't have to chase it. It will find you. Until next time, my friends, start taking action today.